Hey, welcome to Andy Taught Me How. I'm Andy. This is my cast of thousands. You'll get to see them in a few minutes, I hope. Anyway, today we are going to, oh my goodness, all my alerts. Sorry about that. Anyway, today we are going to complete the home page, mainly the footer, and we've got a little bit of cleanup to do in the top of it, in the hero section. And then we're going to start optimizing for mobile and other things. And I've got a whole bunch of new stuff to show you that I've done and am doing. So let's just flip through. Here we go. Let's just flip through the first few slides here. So for the YouTubers, just in case I haven't told you this before, let me be the first to tell you that I'm going to go fast, maybe faster than you want to go. And if that's the case, it's okay. Hit the pause button, hit rewind and replay, and make sure that you understand the concept completely before you continue. And it's okay. Nobody's judging for speed or anything like that, except for Shelly Turner because she thinks she's faster than everybody else. I'm joking. All right. You can follow the live build of what we're doing today and have done in the past by going to andytaughtmehow.com/home. And that will be the page that we're working on today. And then as we move to other pages, I will put a little pop-up that says, hey, we've completed home. Now we're working on whatever's next. Maybe the policies and procedures page or whatever it may be, whatever's next. And we'll continue with that. Finally, if you want to see all of the custom CSS that I have used on the page, you can go to andytaughtmehow.com/custom-css. I have spent a bit of time documenting everything that I've done so that you can see what it's doing and how to call it and where else you could use it on the page if you wanted to. And then you are free to copy that custom CSS for yourself and use on your own site. It is all 100% there on that page. Let's see what else. Oh, I said last but not least. Let's keep going. If you are new to this page or you haven't done it yet or whatever, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and choose all. That way you get to see all the things that we're doing live on Tuesdays. Plus, I've got at least, I don't know, 4, maybe 5, and many more to come, additional things that I call builder notes. For example, how to add Google Workplace to your own BizStackPro account. And it'll be up here somewhere. I'll put a tag to that. And then I also created another one, another builder note that tells you how to create a form like we'll be using today if we get that far for a notification form. It'll be attached to what's called a modal or a pop-up, and then you'll see the form. That's going to be up here too, how to build a form in BizStackPro. By the way, I'm saying BizStackPro only because it is the best version of GoHighLevel that you can get. So these same techniques, tips, tricks, everything that I'm doing also work with GoHighLevel. But if you want it to work best, you're going to want to get GoHighLevel. If you know anybody on this panel, as you see them a little bit later on, make sure you get in touch with them. And then if you don't know anybody on this panel and you want to get started with BizStackPro, just go to andydelgado.com/BizStackPro. By the way, that's called a bridge page, that page that you're about to go see, andydelgado.com/BizStackPro. And we're going to build one of those shortly after we finish this 5-page series, a bridge page for both my, to get you into BizStackPro if you're interested. And then also I'll build what's called a lead magnet page, a lead generation page, so that you can get into this whole action by going to andytaughtmehow.com/toolkit instead of going to andydelgado.com/toolkit. So what am I trying to tell you? If you want to learn all that you can learn about how to automate your business online, how to do lead generation online, how to do all the things online, then follow this channel because I'm going to teach you how to do it. And we'll have a lot of fun doing it. It will be live. You'll learn everything that I'm doing step by step, and you can rewind and catch it again. All right, let's see what's next. I've already told you about the custom CSS. And then if you, let's just get busy. All right, let me just drag this over here. We are in the dashboard of a brand new 2-month-old BizStackPro account that we haven't done much with. And we're going to come over here. First off, let me turn on my mouse. Should have done that earlier. Sorry about that. By the way, I'm using Linux. So if you see something that you're not used to seeing, it's because I'm running Pop! OS, which is a variant of Linux, which is incredibly incredible. So all right, so I just turned on my mouse. We got a little hover thing going on there. We're going to go to sites and then websites And then Andy taught me how. And finally, we're going to edit the home page. Now, if you've been working with us, you've seen all of this I'm about to show you. And we're just going to continue on way down in the bottom of the footer. Nope, I'm lying. Let's fix this first. So you know probably because you're an SEO expert that you should not have two H1s. And I actually have two H1s. So if we look at this and we highlight it, you see that's an H1. And then I have another one right here. That's an H1. Now you're not supposed to have two H1s. And the only reason I have two H1s is because it changes fonts and we don't have an easy way to change fonts in a single element, an easy way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave these now so that we can see the difference. But I'm going to create a new section using a new, no, I shouldn't say a new section. I'm going to create a new element using a custom CSS element, the custom code element, and click on this. And it's going to be right here below our H1s. Hold on. They've got to wait. All right, here we go. So we have a brand new custom HTML element. We're going to open the code editor, and then I've got a bunch of code that we're going to throw in here. So I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste this here. Now, let me show you what it is real quick. This is an H1 element that we're putting in inside of this custom code. And then inside of it, we have build a website, which you see right here. And then below it, we have from scratch, which is right here. So what we need to do is attach some CSS based on this class right here. That's going to give that the characteristic of this top one. And then this one right here, which is going to give it the characteristics of the bottom one. So we're going to add some CSS to it. We're not going to save it here. We're going to add it way back in our CSS way up here at the top. Remember the paintbrush, custom CSS. And I'm just going to go all the way to the bottom and we're going to do a comment and then paste in some CSS here. Oh, I've already done it. So you can look at it right here. ATMH hero H1, one H1, two visual lines, two font styles, and here we go. So these two classes we will have already called in that custom code. So this is going to get stylized right off the bat just from there. Let's go see what happens. So we're going to save it. And then if we preview our custom HTML, come back up here and look at this. Preview custom codes. Well, we've got some work to do. Build a website from scratch. It didn't do all the work. That means we get to do some troubleshooting, right? Let's go see. Let's publish and then go look at it and see if it works right on the main page. Close this. So it did not. You can see it right here. So either that means it's not seeing the custom CSS that we have up here, which it should. Now it may not. All right, ATMH-hero-H1. It may not be seeing it at the page level. We may have to include it in a style statement here. Let's go see. ATMH-hero-H1-line 1. All right, so there's the whole thing. Let's go see what we have. All right, we have a class called, this is called main and script, not line 1 and line 2. So let's go fix that. There's that phrase again I was telling people about. All right, so this one was called script. Let's save it. I forgot what the other one's called. Look at there, it did it for us. Let's go see what the other one was called. Script, and what did I say? Main. All right, edit the code. Main. So now we have it. Build a website from scratch. This will show up as a single H1, even though we have a line break. This showed up as two H1s because I didn't have a way to do it easier. So I can go ahead and get rid of these two and we're ready to continue. Say goodbye. There goes one. There goes the other one. And let's go publish and look at it for sure. I'm probably going to change that font so that it's not bold like that, but I can worry about that down the road. Let's do a refresh. All right. It didn't catch the right script there. So just so you know, if you're using a Google font, and it may be the first bit on the page since we deleted that other H1, we may actually have to contact or call the Google font away from Google, out of Google. So let me find out the right way to do this. Just a second. Do I use what was the name of the font? Okay, so what you would have to do is we have to do a couple of things to get the font right off the bat. So let's go do this, and I'm gonna show it to you. This needs to be in the header code, and I've talked about that before, but just in case you don't remember, we go over here to the top where it says tracking code, and header tracking is where we want to be, and we're going to paste this in. These are simply things that happen above the body tag. So we're calling, I should say, that's my word for it. We're linking to a Google font called Caution Stripped or Caution Stripped. I'm not sure if that's the right way to say it, but there we go. So that's going to allow us to see this hopefully in the rendered HTML. All right, I'm going to go refresh. Still didn't see. Oh, there it is. That was it. So that was our problem. We were using a script. We were using a font that the HTML rendering did not know where it came from or where it was. So we just linked to it through Google. So you learned something else new. Good answer. All right. Now let's go down to our hero. We've got some work to do down here. By the way, all right, so this is where we stopped last time, and then we added this bit in the hero section. I'm sorry, in the footer section. And then I started thinking, you know what? Once this site is done, I think I want people to be able to look at it and then share it on Facebook or X or by text or by email or copy the link and paste it somewhere else. So I developed this little bitty section with this big thing. It's called a card. And then inside the card, we have, this is called an eyebrow. And then we have a header and then a subheader and then just some text and then different buttons. These buttons are actually images that I created and updated on Canva. And then each of these is actually a clickable image that will take them to a certain thing. Now you're probably saying, Andy, anybody could do that. You could, except this little bit right here, this copy link, that actually takes some code to do. And you can't just have a button that says copy link without attaching to some code in the background. So let me show you that real quick. This is the share section, and basically all of this is the same as what you would normally see. These are buttons, and then we get down here and we're calling some funky stuff. This is the one that says copy, okay? And when you click the copy link, what's it going to do? Well, it's going to come over here, and let's get down to the JavaScript. All right. When you click that copy button, it's going to do all this stuff in the JavaScript. Now you can go look at this for free. By the way, there's something else. Man, you guys are getting all the Easter eggs today. All right, so you can see exactly what it's going to do. We're naming some variables as constants. We're doing all the things, and then just a little bit of work right here. It's looking at the different bodies, all the stuff, and then we're doing the copy, the text area link copy. So right here, it's taking everything that we've got. We created a fake text area that's going to use https://andytaughtmehow.com/home. And then that is what's going to fill our copy or the clipboard when they click the link. Nothing to it. If you are interested in this script, all you have to do is right click on this area when you're on the page and say inspect, and it will show you everything behind it. All right. So that's Easter egg number 1. Easter egg number 2. Let me show you real quick. Once you scroll past the header, look what's going to happen. See this button that just popped up? Shelly Turner knows about that button. This is something that she developed and shared it with several of us. So if you want to see this code, I will include it in the custom CSS page. Basically what happens is once you get past, I don't know, a certain percentage of the page, then this button pops up and you can click it and it will take you back to the top of the page. That's a pretty incredible little piece of code, especially if you have a page that goes on for 40 forevers and you want to get back to the top. It does, because we did, by the way, because we did some of the styling in the first place. Let me show you. In the paintbrush, our opening script says right here, scroll behavior smooth. Because that styling is in place, anytime that you click on something that takes you between sections on a page, it's going to make it smooth. So if you click on this, it's going to smoothly scroll back up there instead of just a snap. All right, that was Easter egg number 2. If you need that code, I will include that in the custom CSS page, or maybe I'll create another page just for custom JavaScript too. Nothing to it. All right, that's the end of those Easter eggs. Let's continue with this because I've talked too much. Oh my goodness. All right, if we look at, let me find the page. All right, this is our footer example. Okay, we've already got this done, except I added, let's see, I've got YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I have X, and I also, maybe I have Pinterest too. We'll look and see. And I've created, those are hover images. So when you mouse over each one, it hovers like it's supposed to. All right, so we need to create this. Now, let me show you what this is. This is actually a 3-column row on top of a single column row. But this single column row could go all the way across the whole footer. So I'll probably do it that way. So right now we need to insert a 3-column row instead of this inside of this one big column. Let's look at it. We have one big column and we're going to insert 3 columns inside of it. Now, let me remind you, you're probably thinking, Andy, that's stupid. Why don't you just put in 5 columns across the whole page? Well, since you're calling me stupid, let me go back and show you. Remember how I talked about in this section, we actually did that. We have 4 columns that are all identical. In this section, we have 2 and then 4 columns beside us and inside of a single. The reason we're doing that is because inside of BizStackPro and GoHighLevel, we don't have an easy way to say, I want these columns to be identical widths. We can't say, I want them to occupy 100 pixels or 200 pixels or whatever. So the easiest way to do that is to create a 2-column row, right? We got 1 column here and then another 2-column row, 4-column row here. So we got 2 columns, 1, 2. And inside of this, we put a 4-column row. Now you're saying, why did you do that? And I just explained it. It's because we want each of these columns to be identical in width. So I'm doing the same thing down here. We have a single column and we're going to go insert way back at the top a 3-column row. See? Now we have 3 identical columns. All right, so let's go build our first column. Let's take a look at the column again. Each of these columns are only text. We've got a bold headline and then 4 items below it, 4 items below it, 3 items below this one. So as I did in the past, I'm going to create this first column and then we will clone it. All right, let's do it real quick. So in here, we're going to add, and that could be, it could be a paragraph that we bold and then we use the rest of it. So let's do that. We're going to put a paragraph in. All right, and that first paragraph is going to say explore. Not explore. We're not speaking Spanish. All right. And then we're going to bold it. So you can, because this is a paragraph, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat. We're going to clone it. And then the rest of our stuff can go below. But in this one, we just want this first word or this title just to be bold. So we have this new handy feature that's been here for maybe 6 months where you can work inside of a text box and just change that text inside of it. All right, that's good. Now, I do remember that this is left justified. So we're going to go to styles. I should say left aligned and left align that. And then this one is going to be left aligned too. So let's make it happen. And then inside of this will be clickable links, but I don't need to worry about them right now because I don't have the pages built. So we have about, and then we have training, and then contact, and then get the kit. All right. That was pretty darn easy, huh? And let's make sure that we look about the same the way that we want to look. We have explore, about, training, contact, get the toolkit. There we have it. Now, I'm probably, not today, but maybe today, I'm probably going to give us a little bit more space between this column and then this big column because that's awfully close to it. Let's clone this. We're going to clone the column. There we go. And it's right beside it. And then we can go ahead and delete a column. So we're still looking at about the same thing. All right. And this one, the heading is going to say training. And then I'm just going to copy and paste these. All right. And then we're going to clone this column. Come here, you clone. And then we can delete this one. All right. This one is legal, and then privacy policy, terms of use, and disclaimer. All right. So if you'll notice, this one, because it's technically only got 4 lines, this column is lower, shows up lower than these others. And we fixed that one time before, but let me just remind you how we did it. We're going to find the column, then we're going to go up to style, and we're going to change the padding and the margin. We want this, instead of saying 0, we want it to say auto. And we're going to do the same thing on this one, auto. And finally, we're going to do this one. Now watch it close. As soon as I click auto, these are going to raise up, and it's going to be top aligned. You ready? Auto. Look at there. Some of the magic of CSS. All right. And finally, let's go back and look at our footer here. In this final footer, by the way, these have borders between them. See that? That's a dotted border and a dotted border. We'll fix that too. All right. So over here in this final column, so this is actually, remember, 3 columns, 3, 1, and then a big one, and then 3. So that big one is number 2, and then 3. All right. In this big one, we've got just a few words, and then we're going to have this is actually a form. I'm not going to do a form. I'm going to do a button. So let's go do that real quick. So in this column, we're going to add, and it's going to be a paragraph. And what does it say? The paragraph says, stay connected. All right. And it was bold. And then let's see, it's left aligned also. We're going to do that too. So fix this, styles, left line. All right. Now I messed up, but I'll fix it. What I should have done is, before I bolded this text, I should have cloned it then. Now I've got to unbold the text. No big deal though, right? We know how to do that. So it's already bold. You just hit the bold again and it turns off the bold. And then let me copy in that sentence and paste it. All right. Now, once again, notice how we have this border, this whole column is tall and it's already aligned at the top. And these are just kind of funky in the middle. And this is way small. So we'll need to do the same thing on this as well. So we've got this column, and we're going to go back up here and we're going to say auto. And we're going to find this column. Look, we're looking for the lavender, and say auto. And then this one too. We're going to say auto. Now, if we want to make any changes, and let's say that we don't, see how this is kind of looking funky. It's way top aligned. If we need to change that, then all we need to do is give it some upper margin. And let's go with 40. See how it dropped down? That's probably too much. Let's go with 20. That looks pretty good. All right. After this, we have a button that we're going to put in. Now, we could create our own button and go do all the styling again, or we can come up here and clone this one way at the top and then do just a little bit of work with it. So to do that, we're going to hit the clone, and then we're going to grab that button and drag it way down here. I'm dragging. All right, finally, and we're going to drop it right under that text box. There it is. Now, what does that button say? It says, wrong place. It says subscribe, stay connected, subscribe. I think I'm just going to title it stay connected, just so they are going to say stay connected. All right, we're getting this pop-up because although I drug it out, I did make a change to the global header when I cloned that button up top, and then I moved it away. So we're going to tell it to save. That's okay. All right, we're going to change the title of this to, this is not a gold CTA button. This is now a stay connected button, and it is gold. So we're going to say stay connected. And it's going to say stay connected. Cancel. Stay connected. And then that button itself is left aligned in, oh my goodness, leave me alone. styles, left aligned. There we go. And then that's probably going to be a little bit bigger text than I want, but we'll leave it alone. All right. So what is this button going to do when I click it? Well, we're going to open a pop-up. This is going to open a pop-up. The pop-up is stay connected form. And then let's close this. Now I want to go make sure I didn't make a change up here too. No, we're good. Let's save. All right. So let's go look at this. We're going to publish. Our footer is just about done. That's exciting. And we're going to refresh and turn this one off. All right. So if we hit stay connected, we get a new pop-up. And it's simply the form that I created in that other video that I told you, look for the link up at the top. That's the how to build a form in BizStackPro. So what we have is basically, this is called a modal. In BizStackPro, it's called a pop-up. And on this pop-up, we create, let's go look at it. Let's do it that way instead. Go back to the top over here, and we're going to click on this one that says pop-up settings. All right, so here we are. We have a pop-up that has we have a one row, and then we built or maybe that's a section. That's a row. All right, so we have a 1-column row, and then inside of it, I nested a 3-column row. Then we have our form, and then below our form, we're ready to go again. So here we go. This is all I did in this 1-column row. I have rich text, and it's got a headline and then a subtext or subheadline. Then I put in 3 columns with some icons and some text. Then I attached our form that we already built, and then I just added a little tag on the bottom. This is a very easy thing to do. Now, let me show you one thing about this form, just in case you didn't watch the video yet, but you're going to do it because I put the link at the top, right? Let's edit the form. So when somebody submits this form, by the way, this is all the UTM tags that you'll see in the video that's linked at the top. I said UTM made easy. All right, so when somebody submits this form, it's going to go the conditional logic and redirect when it's completed to notified dash thank you. We haven't built that page, but we will. It'll be very similar to this one. So we'll probably just clone this page and do it there. Basically, that's going to be a thank you page that says, thank you for wanting to be notified. We're going to send you emails occasionally. They're going to be from Andy at Andy Taught Me How. Make sure that you star the email, all that stuff. That's called whitelisting. So we're going to ask them to whitelist our email address so that they get future messages from us. And we're telling them to go check their email. That's really what this thank you page does. All right, so we're going to get out of this. That is our pop-up that happens when they click that button. Guess what we did, y'all? We just completed the desktop version of the homepage. So we're going to publish it, and we're going to go look again. Now, yes, we still have a few things to do. For example, as the other pages get built, then we're going to want to add the links. For example, this one, these links, we'll have to add those. The website builder toolkit, right now it goes to andydelgado.com/toolkit. But guess what we're going to do? We're going to build a lead magnet or a lead generation page on this website as soon as we're finished with this, so that you will learn how to build your own lead generation page, and it will be linked from this button. Now, the good thing about that lead generation page is, even if I don't link it from this button, it would be good enough to be a standalone page. So we could send someone there just by saying, hey, go to andytaughtmehow/toolkit, and then they would get there. It would be a standalone page. It would tell them everything they need to know and make them passionately want to download the toolkit and then get started in this entire series that we're working on. That's something that you can do with a lead generation page. In fact, you probably wouldn't necessarily want it to be included in the rest of the site, because you want them to only click on what you're telling them to click on in that page. We'll get to that later, but I just wanted you to see we have completed our desktop version of this page. We've got a few things to do once it's all said and done, because we're going to, as we build these other pages, we'll have to build the links. But I got to tell you, I think this is a pretty good looking page. All right. And look at our footer. of course, all these pages will get, all these links will get updated when we're finished. Here's our social media buttons. They do have a very subtle hover effect when you look at them. And that's only because the images are so small. I could build a bigger effect on that if we wanted. We just did our form button. Your first name, your email, boom, keep me notified. Let me go ahead and show you that it's going to go to a 404 page. Trio. All right. As soon as I click notified, normally this would go to a thank you page, but because I have not built that thank you page yet, it's going to go to this 404 page, just so you know. And you'll notice, oh my goodness, this 404 page looks very familiar, doesn't it? Yes, because I did what I told you I'm going to do. I cloned the home page, and we're going to do that for so many of our pages. I can stylize this any way I want, but basically, if they come here, they're going to get a 404 page. Now look at this. I have not saved our footer as a global footer yet and attached it to our other pages. Why don't I do that real quick? Scroll down here. The benefits, so many, but one of them is once I save this footer as a global element, global template, then is a global section, whatever it is, then anytime that I make changes to any of these links, then it will do the same exact thing to all of the other places that this footer is saved. Let's go do it real quick. I'm clicking on the green, so that means we're on the section. So I'm not in the row, I'm not in a column, I'm in the green section. And I'm gonna click on the floppy disk, and we're gonna call it. We're gonna call this a global, actually gonna name it ATMH, global footer. And we're gonna call it a global section. Let me look at it, let me tell you again, what does that mean? That means any change I make in this section will be available to this website anytime that I put this footer in. And we'll do that real quick on the 404 page. So I'm going to save it as a global section and say save. Now let's publish. And we're going to switch to the 404 page real quick. And then I'm going to go put it in there. So this is our footer. It's not the global because it doesn't have anything in it. It's just a plain old footer. And we're also, it would have a down here, what it says it is the footer. Let me move our helper up. By the way, in case you don't remember, this little chat bubble here, that, come here. This little chat bubble here, that is our 24/7 chat help that is only available in BizStackPro. Well, it's free for us in BizStackPro. You could probably find it in some other lesser known versions of GoHighLevel. And it's not available in GoHighLevel directly. It is a thing, a perk of being a member in BizStackPro. 24/7 chat. It also has some AI chat built in. So if you need help, you can ask for help. If the AI doesn't help you like you want to be helped, then you just type the word agent or human, I forgot which, and it will go and find the nearest closest operator that has a available time to talk to you and get you into their vision. All right, let's quit talking about that. We're going to throw this section away. All right, so I need to move my chat bubble out of the way. All right, we're going to delete this section. Oh, no, goodbye. Let's go add by clicking on the plus, and we're going to add a pre-built section. No, a saved asset. We have a global section, and it's the ATMH global footer. We're going to take that dude and grab him with our fists and take him all the way down to the bottom of the page and drop it. Now, scroll down. Oh my gosh, look what happened. We have our footer in place by the magic of BizStackPro. All right. So anything we make, any changes we make anywhere, right, are going to happen everywhere. So for example, now you probably already know this, but just in case you don't, if you see a logo at the top of a page, it is usually going to be clickable, and that will take you to the home page of that website, right? So why don't I do that in the footer as well? Well, yes, I think I will. I'm glad you suggested. Click on this image. What do we want it to do? Oh, I've already done it. Well, if they click on it, they're actually going to go to the home page, the home page of Andy Taught Me How. Now you're saying, but Andy, it didn't float. You're right. All I have to do is add a section, add a class to that. Remember, we talked about it to make it hover. So let's go look at it and get the same one. Go to styles. I have that hover built into our YouTube image there. There it is, ATMH -hover-zoom. I'm going to do the same thing here. Oh, I do have it there. Shut my mouth. It's already there. Let's publish and go look. All right, publish here. We're going to go look at it. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Oh, it hovers. And then if we click, it's going to take us back to the home page. Are you ready? There it did it. Good to go. Okay, enough about all this. Let's go back to our home page and start optimizing it to make it look good on mobile. If you didn't know, up at the top of our window, on our bar here, we've got all of our icons. Then we have our page selection, right? We're working on home. Then we have a desktop mode and a mobile mode. We want to switch to mobile. And this is going to say, let me see what's going to happen if I look at this on my phone. Boom, we're there. Now, why do you want to do this? Well, several reasons. You want to be able to see that this is looking good on a phone. And right now it doesn't. It looks kind of funky, huh? The good news is, for example, this font is probably way too big. So the good news is we can take this font and we can, this is a headline font. See where it says we're looking at mobile right here? So if we switched it, we have a switch between desktop or mobile. We can toggle between the two. So this is font size for mobile, and I don't like it that big. So let's make it smaller. And see, it's getting smaller as I go down. By the way, I'm arrowing down by using the down arrow. So it breaks at 17 points, 17 pixels. I'm going to leave it there. This button, we can do the same thing with it. Font size text, because we're in the mobile version, we can do the same thing. This is our headline font, and I'm probably going to break it so that toolkit's on the same line. Look at there, getting better. And then our subtext font size, same thing. Perfect. Much better, huh? Now we can also do other things. For example, if we wanted this button right now, it's left aligned. If we wanted it center aligned, we can do the same thing. Let me go to styles. Come here, you. All right, styles, and then alignment. It's left aligned, and oh, there we go. See our little phone here? Same thing. If we were on desktop, we're talking about the desktop version for alignment. We're looking at the phone version for alignment. So click that back open and tell it to center. The same thing on this one. Now, this may not center align because I have rules set in our CSS. Let's see. Nope, it's not going to, which means I have to do some work in the CSS to center align it on mobile. Not a big problem. All right, you also see that we have two JavaScript custom CSS elements that are hidden. Remember, we wanted to reveal those up here. Preview custom codes. All right, so the same thing here. I could probably leave that alone. I don't know. Now, because this is styled also in custom CSS, we would have to change that in custom CSS. Not difficult to do, but we'll come back to it another time. All right, scrolling down. Now, here's our big first mistake. This icon is huge. Why would you do that, Andy? Well, it's because it said this is what you're doing in the big one. So let's come down here. All right, once again, we're looking at the mobile version, and we're just going to start with the width and start at 100. Wow, that's a lot better. And then we can change this guy step by step. We can make both of these center now if we want. We'll just look at them and see how we like it. We want it centered. I think that's okay. And this actually, I think, could go smaller. Go back to general, change our size. Let's take it to 80. That looks better. Now, because we know that this looks good at 80, I'm just going to say that this is going to look good at 82. Let's change it and see. I think that looks pretty good. And we're going to center this, styles and center. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, same thing up here. Back to general. This width is going to be 80. This style is going to be center. And then I'm going to show you one big thing that we need to look at real quick. Okay. So as we continue down, these look pretty good. All right. I'm not going to worry about that background image because it shows us some pretty good color as it is. We could adjust the margin between these. I may do that. Let's come back to that in a minute. But here's what I want you to see. If you remember, on the desktop version, we had all of our stuff on the left side, and then we had a blank column on the right just to make room for that big laptop. We don't need that last column. In mobile, what we want to do is hide it. So see right here on visibility, we want to hide that on mobile. Let's move our guys out of the way. It's gone. Much better, huh? Now we don't have a big blank space. And here we've got some other things we can do too. We'll consider that in a minute. All right, let's come on down. There's some space here that probably doesn't need to be. I think this one column row, I think we'll adjust the spacing there in a minute. Now, I've probably already adjusted these. Those look good. Keep on going down. Scroll back to the top. Let's look at our subtitle right here. General. That's 17. We may change this one to 17 just to be consistent. That looks pretty good. These all look good. This right border on this this column, we probably don't need that in mobile. Let's see if we can affect that. All right, so that's the right border in this. That looks like that's what it is though. That was in each column. All right, let's see if we can adjust that. That's under styles, borders. All right, margin and padding is affected by mobile. Styles are not. So we're gonna leave that alone for now. We may adjust that with CSS. And the only reason I know that I say that styles are not is because under border, we don't have the icon, right? You see that? We do for margin and padding, but we don't under border. All right, let's keep going down. What you'll learn, everything is looking good so far. We might center this button. Let's go see styles, center. I don't know. We'll leave it. My gosh, I'm looking gargantuan in this picture. I don't need that. Let's go make me smaller. General. Under that image size, probably 200. That's better. What do you think? I'm going to say okay. All right, we have issues. We have an icon that needs to be centered. How dare it not be centered in this section? I'm under styles on the image, and I want to go to alignment. There it is, center. Same thing, center, center. And then we probably want to center the text. So find it, styles, center line, same thing. Oh my gosh, look how big that dude is. Let's make it small too. Styles. General. We're talking about an image. Let's go with 100. Yep, that looks pretty good. We can see if we can make this smaller. This now remember, this is if we look at it on desktop version, that's our big CTA script right here. Okay. All right, we're gonna make that center line. And this, just in case somebody's got a wider phone, we're gonna center line it. These look good. We could change that font size down, general. Much better. And only because we're making, see this, we made 17. We're gonna make sure this one's 17. Oh, it's already 16. Good enough. Now, this stuff we can't affect in here. It's all in custom CSS. And I'll probably go make this smaller. Know who has been meaning to build a website. That's huge. So I'll affect that later. The same thing here. We'll probably put these buttons. This is our share buttons, right? I'll set those up so they stack horizontally. I'm vertically. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right down the row. This is our footer. Look how big these icons are. Oh my goodness. Why would somebody build an icon that big? So if we make them 1 each, 100 each, they're going to stack up nicely. Oh, that's probably still too big. Let's go 80. Now, what I could do and may is make all these appear, since these are our social media icons, I could make all of these appear in a single row. Oh, not 800. Oh, goodness. All right, let's see about this. So if you'll remember, these were in a row. Let's go look. See, all of these are in a single, these are on one column row, right? So let's go see if we can do anything with that save. If we did, oh, they're not doing that way. These are 4 different columns. Yeah, so that's the whole row. I don't know if we can change that and make them stack. Let's make them smaller. That looks better. What we may do, y'all, is go create a single column row and we'll put all these beside each other, and then hide the desktop version from mobile and the mobile version from desktop. We'll consider that. Save that. Okay, so these are all of the links in our footer. We could change this to a menu and make it a hamburger menu. I don't think I'll do that. I think what I'll do is I'll just center everything. I think that might look best on mobile. Nope, I'm gonna leave it alone. Stay connected. We're gonna make this button smaller. All right, I reserve the right to have some creative license and do some changes and then tell you what I did afterwards. And if it's complicated, then I'll make the changes a bit. I'll do a video on it. But I think I like this better. So that's our mobile version. I think it looks okay. Now, let me teach you something that you may not know. If you want to see the mobile version of an object without looking at it in the builder, we can cheat. Let's do a refresh. So we're looking at the latest. Okay, we're going to cancel this. We're at the top. Now, if you right click anywhere and say inspect, see that? I'm using Google Chrome, by the way. Say inspect. And then over here, it's asking, what are we looking at this with? And we can say we're using an iPhone 14 Pro, a Pixel 7, whatever you want. Pick your phone, and then you're going to see what it's going to look like on the phone. Now, as we're looking at this, we see some things. For example, this pill, I might want to center it, but everything else is looking pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's not going to shame us when somebody looks at it on mobile. By the way, my buddy Graham, he texted me, said, Andy, your new site doesn't look good on mobile. I said, I know, man, we're just getting started. That's why I had to add that big pop-up that says, hold on, y'all, this is not a finished deal. Simmer down. Take a chill pill. All right, let's close this up. All right, we are done with this. I'm like I said, I may tweak it a little bit later on, but this is looking pretty good. And guess what we did? We did it in about an hour, which is about where we wanted to stop. So what's left on this page? Let me show you other things that I've done without you knowing. In the SEO section, just because people are already looking at this page, I went ahead and created this area. So that's our content for SEO. I gave it a title. I gave it a description based on the content of the page. And then I went and created a social sharing image, which is what you see right here. Now, I cheated. Of course I did. What I did is I went to, got the page as good as I could make it for the time. And I went to ChatGPT and said, please evaluate, and then gave it the website name and said, and build an OG, which stands for Open Graph, an OG image that I can attach to the page. And it went and created this OG image. And now whenever I share this, by the way, we talked about this in some hot seats before on BizStackPro, but you can go through all kind of different tools to help you make sure this looks good. Now, let me look it up real quick. I believe it's called the Facebook Troubleshooter. Facebook. Oh, come here. G image. There we go. Let's see what it's called. It's called the sharing debugger, not troubleshooter. So let me show you what it looks like. We're going to go over here and go to Facebook, developers.facebook.com.tools /tools/debug. And I'll put that link on the screen in just a few minutes. Well, on the video. All right. So what you do is you take your URL and throw it up here. Okay. Put your URL in and ask the Facebook debugger to debug, and it will go search and say one or two things. Usually the first one, it says, I've never seen that page. And you say, go scrape it. And you click on the scrape. And then it goes and looks at it. And you can see if you were to share this link on Facebook, somebody will see this. That's often called a link preview or a preview image. In truth, it's called an OG image. And originally it started because of Twitter, believe it or not. It was called a Twitter card. Anyway, so this is what you get when you populate this information on the left. This also helps with your SEO, search engine optimization, which is a total another thing that we're going to do for this page, for each page specifically that we want to be crawled by the bots for search engine optimization. And then when it's all said and done, we're also going to do the schema markup and everything else. But you can't do some things until the page is 100% ready to go. And now we are effectively 100% ready to go. So maybe we'll start working on the SEO and crawling of just this page. Nope, I'm lying to you. I don't want to have to do something and then undo it once we clone the page. So we're going to finish building the site, and then we'll come back and touch up all the SEO and LLMS for each page after that. So there we go. I think that's a pretty good looking page. If you guys have any comments about it, please leave them in the comments under the YouTube description. You can also email me by sending an email message to andy@andytaughtmehow.com. Let me get out of this and go back to full screen. All right. Anyway, if you have any questions or comments or say, Andy, that sucks or whatever, then you can leave a comment in the YouTube comments telling me what's up. You can send me a message to andy@andytaughtmehow.com. You can hit me on Facebook. I just added all the socials that you see down here. All these socials, I got them. So just search for Andy Taught Me How on all the socials and you'll get there. Now, next week, we will start cloning this page to build out the rest of our site. When all the rest of the site is done, then we will go and hit SEO for each page and change the preview links for each page. Maybe I'll go ahead and do one of those live for you by asking ChatGPT to evaluate the page, review it, and build me a link for it. Build me an image for it, get it to write a description, all those things. If you use another large language model, another AI, whatever, you are welcome to use your own. I just started with ChatGPT, and it's kind of hard to move in the middle of a relationship. That's the way I say it. So we're good to go there. Let me open it up to the group. Does anybody have anything? After we're all said and done, we'll close the recording. So if you want to say something private like, Andy, you're stupid, that's fine too. But does anybody want to say anything on the video before I stop recording? By the way, everyone, like I said, if you are looking to get started with BizStackPro, look at the panel. If you know anybody on the panel, talk to them about getting in your BizStackPro with your getting in their BizStackPro business, and they can help you get started with everything. You'll still have access to this training session, as well as 8 other training sessions every week in BizStackPro. There's so many other benefits. Maybe I'll highlight the rest of the benefits of a BizStackPro account some other time, but I'm trying to keep it concise today. Let me stop. I don't think anybody else got anything else to say. Anybody? Going once, going twice? That's it. Well, let me say bye to everybody and start over. Let me say bye on the recording, and then I'm going to open after the recording, I'll stop it. I'll talk to everybody else. All right. Thank you for being here on YouTube. Make sure that you know that you can stop or pause and then rewind and go back and watch it again to make sure that you have everything you need to know on that concept before continuing. Then please subscribe to this channel, like this video, hit the bell and click on all, and leave any comments. I'll read them all, and I will be happy to get back to you as quick as I can. Be blessed. I hope that you are enjoying this and learning something valuable. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.